Hello and welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I've been actually quite busy. This is what I was trying to build and all that other fun stuff. I've run into a little bit of a problem, though, which problems abound always. Um, as you can see, actually, there's quite a bit of tech involved in this build. Like I said, I was going to try to get it to work, or try to get this to work. Um, Basically, how this system works is Essentia gets broken down in, the alchemical furnace and goes up the arcane alembics. Well, I bet you guys couldn't tell. These are all actually levers. Um, this one just turns on those two or three. This turns on the bottom two. And they collect Essentia out of out of the alembics. How, you may ask? If the lag would stop. Oops, fell down the hole. These actually have vials in them. So, yeah. I might have to actually get rid of the whole Ender IO thing. I'm not sure. Because I'm running across one problem. And that is, this one being the only one I can have. Open. I don't know how to restrict this to just throwing in one, or not just one stack of vials in here without filling up this slot over here, which I doubt I would have any trouble. I would have trouble with that with Iter, or whatever it is. It's Wrath. It's one of the other ones, but it's the only one essentially I had on hand right away. So I just tested it. But that's an issue with that would be issue with let's open up the book. Magical aspects like Arbor and maybe Corpus. I could see Corpus being an issue eventually. Metallum, Perdito, Saxum, things like those. The bigger aspects, ones that come in bulk and don't generally want. The default route actually is here, but yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to just have one thing of them in here. Because I could have it just clear this whole thing. I just don't know, because it. Or the better thing yet, instead of just being able to keep one stack in here, is to be able to keep a single vial in there, like at all times. Like have this one full of the one's full of Essentia, but this one have a single vial, just plain, just sitting in there. It's never gonna get used, never gonna get this, never gonna get that, but it just sits there. I have built something similar to this, not on the scale of this before. I might actually have these sit back one. Like have the stair stepped eventually, I don't know. Just because, well, and then I'd have to move this back maybe. Because then I can access more sides of these autonomous activators and all that fun stuff. So, I might end up doing that in between this episode and next. I can't say this episode's gonna be extremely long. I'm trying to explain this and what my thoughts behind this and the problems I've been having, because for those other ones, I want one stack of aspects in each activator, just because, yeah. Because as soon as it drops 8 aspects, say I'm doing an infusion and something requires, actually I'll go right to a very bad infusion, aka the Silverwood. It needs 192 arbor. For that, it's like, what? 3 jars, 4 jars, something like that, of arbor. And then it requires a jar and a half for the other of 3 aspects. Permutatio, Precantio, and Victrious. This is a really horrible infusion, but for an example, but still. Stuff like that. So as soon as it drops 8 aspects, hey, technically I made one awarded jar, which is relatively cheap. Hold what? 60 8 times 64. It's basically 8 times 8 times 8. And the cubed. Well, anyways, I think it's like 9 jars worth of Essentia just stored up in each activator, or stored in total for each kind. That's a little insane. I'll keep that in mind. And why I say this has the benefit over a golem based system, because a golem has his own little internal buffer, what's in these alembics, and what he can fit in each individual jar. This has items that you can just fill it. They don't take up any there's no liquid space, and they auto refill as long as they have the aspects. But the main reason I want it to have that extra space for vials is because without it, it destroys the vial. With it, it keeps the vial and the vial can be recycled. It doesn't like auto output it anywhere or anything like that. It just destroys it. If you don't have room for it, which is really crappy, I think. But I think if it has somewhere to output it to, it should. But that's not my call. It's whoever made them up in thermal expansion. But yeah. Oops. Alright. So yeah. Basically, it's match all metadata, because these are metadata related. It's the first number there next to the vial of Essentia. That is the item ID of all Essentia vials. But the colon 1 is actually specific to this, and that's metadata. For those of you who didn't know. There's NBT data, which is different yet again for very little. I don't know why I clicked on that. But yeah, this system, if I can get the vial retrieval, if I can get all the vials retrieved, will be ideal. Because vials, they're not entirely. I forget exactly where the thing is. I think they're in here somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, guess you don't need vials for the craft thing anymore. But yeah, glass vials are clay in 3 glass for 8 of them, which that doesn't seem too much. But unless I build some more technical infrastructure, that's not going to happen. So if you guys would be, I might have that later in this episode or maybe even next episode. But yeah, this is a really complicated build. And as you see, I just have it underneath my house. Um, but yeah, really complicated build. I'm actually going to make it more complicated because, well, not only am I going to have the jars auto refill, but I'm going to be able to have it auto craft, eventually auto craft components like, let's hope, auto craft stuff for infusion. What am I doing? Like maybe any of these tools, maybe a pickaxe of a core, something. I don't know. Not 100% for sure. Or icorium fabric, like the icorium stuff. I might have it craft icorium, or I might just have it where there's a chest here, and I maybe with computer craft or something, like list it in order 1 through have each of these pedestals basically have a ID, so to speak, and say this is pedestal 1, that one over there is pedestal 2, and so on and so forth, up until this one, and then have it with a chest that has 27 slots, be able to, I just throw those items in there, and it automatically places them in a balanced fashion all around the infusion altar. The computer craft code I'm not too good at, so I might have to have someone else help me write the code, since I'm not too great at that. But yeah, not a bad idea for that, because as far as I know, no one has fully automated an infusion altar, because these are considered unautomatable with all their different components, because you have to put items on each individual pedestal. The items may not even stay on the pedestals, which can be simply remedied by a constant, like 2-second check, maybe 1-second check, to make sure the items are all there on their respective pedestals. Snag another one out of the chest if need be. I could think of a couple ways I could try doing this. Steve's factory manager would be a good one. Like, have 13 different chests or something. But that would pretty much be the only way Steve's factory manager could do it, is to have the 13 different chests. Because otherwise it doesn't like it too much. And then you could have like interfaces lined up underneath those once you get into AE, and actually have applied energistics craft using your infusion altar. I mean, it would be complicated, but isn't an infusion altar complicated in itself? I mean, think of how many jars of Essential I have on my walls. Don't even, and I have 61 autonomous activators running in this room, so if I'm really laggy when I'm here, sorry about that. I don't know whether to call this an episode, so to speak, more or less me talking to you guys, seeing what my plans for this are, and why it's probably going to be a little bit of a hiatus between episodes. Um, but yeah, I would much appreciate a like in the description. Or what am I saying? I would much appreciate if you guys had tell me, yeah, tech's okay. Go right ahead and make tech for making the vials. Um, yeah, make for tech making the vials and all this other stuff, because magic alone, while it is amazing, is actually quite limiting. Um, because you need a lot of things to get to where you need to go. I also think I know why I don't have chop, like the Golem core chop. Why it's not up here and yada yada yada. It's actually because I don't have this. Because had remembered previous episodes, or in between the last episode and this one, that chop actually requires pickaxe of, or not pickaxe, an axe of the stream. I also did a lot of organizing, as you guys can tell. I took a lot of what was in the chests and stuck them where they need to be. Yeah, so I did a lot of off-camera work, mainly in that room. I also went mining for obvious reasons. Darn you, Rain. I did actually upgrade this chest to a diamond chest for good reason. I went and processed all the ores I had pretty much. What's left is in this chest. As soon as it gets to something of 8 or 9, I mean, because then since it doubles ores, excuse me, it can then 9 ores make 2 blocks. I just flip on this lever and it empties out into the casting basin to empty out into here for all the fun stuff. I also, this hammer has actually been repairing for quite some time. While I was dumping all the ores in there, I was just holding this hammer, letting it repair. I almost broke this hammer. I think I had it down to 1,000 durability, and it has 700 or 7,000. Excuse me. So yeah, I did lots of mining. I filled up my cobblestone barrel. I had to go dump a bunch in the nether just to get rid of all of it for the lava and the lava for all that. But yeah, I haven't been doing too much. Get out of here, witch. Screw it. Dump a little bit. The gravel I actually have room for, so put that back. I am using right now the energy cells that were basically gifted to me. But I was feeling a little dirty about having done that, but I needed it for the alloys and all that other fun stuff, and for, well, facade, the Ender IO facades, because right there, those needed to be exposed there. But yeah, if you guys want me to finish that up off camera, or have any ideas on what I could do to save vials, and so I'm not constantly creating and destroying vials, I would feel free to comment down below. I would much appreciate some feedback from you guys. I know this is actually, now that I'm looking at my thing, been a 20-minute rant on everything. Actually, let's see. Are pulverizers the only way? Yeah, pulverizers are the only way. Fun. It's either that or I could. I did craft a stack of these, so yeah. Should I recreate Sunday's hammer time build? Probably not. Though that would be funny. I'm probably not gonna do that. I'm probably gonna work on some autonomous activate or not autonomous activators. I've had enough of those. Um, I'm probably gonna get some pulverizers to make the dust and sand that I need to make vials. Because dust, if you didn't know, dust placed in a barrel filled with water gives you clay. Actually, re- oops, recipes. Or I could go with harvesting a bunch of. Well, no, I can't. Oh, I can't necessarily go with that either. Uh, right now, I'm looking at a good way to break down a clay block because that's what it gives you. And I kind of want to, keep a clay block if I can. Which I think would actually be a sag mill, would be my best bet because it gives me, well, it gives me two for sure. A 10% chance of getting a third one, which they give you, there's four. It takes four to make a clay block, but it also gives me silicon. And if I'm wanting to build in the future some stuff, I'm gonna need some silicon. Um, it's either that or I build a rock crusher. I bet you none of you even know what or few of you even remember what a rock crusher is, because these things have been gone for so long, or have been not useful for so long. It's ridiculously outdated. Um, yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'll build a rock crusher. Hmm. Does what does it do with cobble? Cobble turns immediately into gravel and flint. You know, I might actually do that because from what it looks like, you can generate cobblestone, throw it in here, but continuously like put sand and stuff in here as well. A rock crusher and a pulverizer should actually, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Because I'm pretty for sure that, yeah. Who knows? Actually, I might record the next episode right after this one because this is actually getting really long. Um, and I might just have you guys. Yeah, I could go a lacerator, but that would take a lot of infrastructure and building. Yeah, the only thing I can really see at this point to get clay from the clay block is either sag mill or a rock crusher. And if I'm going the rock crusher method, I'll probably have it, like I showed, breaking cobblestone into gravel and gravel down to sand, which I would actually could possibly get diamonds and gold from. Interesting um, enough. I will also have to have a pulverizer to get dust to get the clay, but that's not a big deal. It's one pulverizer versus a whole line of them. Probably gonna go test in single player and all that other stuff. I might record that actually. Um, Going between, but I'll leave you guys. I think it's quite a bit of thought that needs to go on between this build, for this build, and where I'm basically going with this right now. Nice. Um, yeah. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I'm just trying to concentrate and build together these two, and then da da da. That's done. Ooh, what am I doing? No, wrong placement. Bridge over there with these. Um, hmm. That's because I needed just one more closer. There. Axe to the stream. Now let's see. Maybe I have to scan an axe of the stream or make one. I don't know. Maybe that'll be my first infusion on my new altar. But I'll leave you guys off with that. Food for thought. But this has been a Derpy Creeper showing off his infusion altar and posing a few questions actually and plans. Um, Sorry about the long rant and that I really didn't get much building and other stuff, but it's mainly a planning aspect at this point. So, oh, looking at the wrong thing. I will get in. There's not much sense to get into the ore doubling mechanic right now in Thaumcraft, though it's not actually just doubling. You get you get close to 3 times if you go through the whole process, but it is, like I said, a process. Uh, I do need a few more resources before I can get into the automated alchemy. Mainly, where is it? The Quicksilver. Um, I have. Come on, open up. Where are you? Where are you? I have 4 pieces of Quicksilver and 10 Cinnabar, but I feel I'm gonna need a little more than 14 total Quicksilver to, you know, make it work. Um, Considering each one of these tubes, yeah, I want to say in total here, you're talking one uh, total. What am I even thinking? You're talking one Cinnabar or one Quicksilver for this whole thing here, which may not sound a lot, but it is. You have to make a crap ton of these. This is for just for automated alchemy for the actual construct. I need 2 of them, so that's 2 Cinnabar there. Plus, I need all the pipes and everything to break down Essentia in. So, long story short, I think 14 would actually be just short of what I would end up needing. Um, yeah, because this is another one. Plus, I need that, and if I actually went along this route, which I might have to, depending on where I get my Ordo. If I'm going to get Ordo from Metallum, I'm going to need an alchemical centrifuge. And I'll show you guys how that all works and whatnot. But all these plans and stuff, I'll leave in post for you guys. Like I said, I would much appreciate any suggestions in the comments below. I do read the comments, though there hasn't been much. I would I would leave a like in the description, or leave a like would be much appreciated. But I guess it's that time again. This has been Derpy Creeper, talking from the inside of a chicken, or turkey, whatever you want to call it. But see you next time, folks.